Hello everybody and welcome back to the railway. I'm very sorry I haven't made any videos for a while, but it's just been absolutely boiling recently, and especially up here, so I really couldn't face coming up here. But today I've got one of my favourite vintage locomotives ready to show you. Obviously then it's going to be Triang, and we've looked at it before in actual fact, but I've not featured it in detail. It was just running alongside one of the locos we were looking at. So here it is. Bring it into view for you. You'll probably certainly recognise it. There we go. It's the Triang 3MT, I think it is. Yeah, 3MT R56, I think, something like that. I'll check that in a minute. But it's one of the first ones I actually ever got of Triang, at least, and it's lovely, as you can see. So they made this for 11 years, starting in 1960 and ending in 1972. But I think this one is probably made between 1960 and 1965, because Triang then became Triang Hornby after 1965. But this one isn't branded Triang Hornby, this is branded just Triang Railways. So it must be before 1965. As you can see, it's your 262 wheel configuration tank engine. And it was in quite a bad way when I got it. We had, I don't know if you can still see any of it, but there was brown paint all over the chassis, all over the wheels, all over everything. I think some kid had obviously had it, and I've cleaned it up quite painstakingly actually. Took a lot of restoration. The inside, I've mentioned this before, I'm sure I have, but the inside was full of Play-Doh. It was that one that was full of, yeah, Play-Doh I think it was, or plasticine or something. It looked like it was from the 70s because it was rock hard. Obviously I had to try and get it out without damaging the body, which was easier said than done, that's for sure. But I've been running her for probably 2 years now, maybe a little less, and she's, you know, she's absolutely fabulous. I've set the camera up so she looks like she does on the Triang pictures. Let me just check what model number it is now. So we're talking R59, that's it. Completely wrong. So yes, you can look it up, and that's the colour that you see. But it's really this colour. That's what it really looks like. It's a bit darker than that, so I don't know if it's aged or whether that's just the way it looks. But I'll brighten the camera up anyway because it just looks a bit nicer. But there we go. So it is mixed traffic, so we'll get some freight with it today. I think we'll pull it forwards, but first I'll just get her running and show you on her own. Now she sounds like the most authentic diesel you'll ever hear, but obviously she is steam, but you'll see what I mean about that when we get her going. Okay, let's get everything out of the way. Here we go, let's get her off. It is an awful mess up here, I'm afraid, but like I say, I've not had a chance to come up here since the last video, so it's very much in the same way. Ooh, a bit too quick for me there. Right, I'll stop her right there then, and we'll get her pulling something from the front this time. Get that awful thing out of the way. Yes, I know it's not exactly period freight, but it is freight nonetheless, so we'll get it going. I'll probably find a brake van to go on there at some point. But I'll set the camera up here so you can see the coupling. Obviously I'll just need to set the point first. And it all seems to be on the tracks, but we'll soon see for sure. Right. Oh dear. Go, just ignore that. So there she is. But yes, I was looking over a few of the old videos, well, all the videos I've made, and I've noticed I almost always pull things from the back of the locomotive, and obviously in real life that isn't the way it's always done. Especially with, you know, these freight locos, the ones that might do a lot of shunting and stuff. So we'll be a bit different today and pull it like this. But I'll find a brake van and put it on the end, and then we'll run her backwards this time, and I'll find a way to get some shots of her around the layout for you. Okay, be right back in a minute. Okay, done that. Let's get her off then, or try to at least. She is smooth, but noisy. I'll try and keep her to realistic freight speed, which is probably about like this. I think this brake van might actually be trying too, but I've put some modern wheels on. Oh, there goes the phone. Something doesn't sound right, and I can see what it is. Try and fix it on the way past. I don't know. Never get any problems with them normally, but obviously once you start filming, that's where it all comes out. Although to be honest, she doesn't do a lot of running backwards, so perhaps that could be it. We'll keep an eye on her. Oops, that's just the points, don't worry. As usual. Well, that back truck seems to be okay this time. Don't speak too soon though. Right, well I know you're probably thinking it doesn't sound too healthy, but that's normally because triangles prefer to go at quite a speed, so I'm going to speed her up now. Probably more than what is realistic, but you'll hear her run more happily at higher speeds, so here we go. It's even better forwards. And I think once she's warmed up a bit more, she'll go even quicker, but we'll see. Look at this. As soon as she gets onto the straight where the power's connected, you see such an increase in speed, it's unreal. I'm hoping this camera's going to catch it. She'll come crawling around the corner, then as soon as she gets on this straight, she'll speed up. So I think there must be a dead spot on the track. There we go. Unbelievable. So what I'm going to have to do is use the multimeter and just check each of these fish plates, because this track's permanently laid like this, and I don't step on it, but if somebody else does, it could damage things. So could be that I need to replace a few bits, but we'll see. Like this for example. This is the problem with carpet. So you just got to spot it and fix it. This isn't the line we're running on at the minute, but yeah, things like that you've got to sort out. There we go. Bursting around there. Here's something I want to show you as well, these things. Most of you will recognise them if you've got locos of your own. They're the little springs that hold the brushes onto the trying motors. And I didn't know this before, I probably already mentioned this like I say, but these get quite brittle in some engines after a while, and they do snap quite easily. But I haven't been able to find them very easily on eBay. There's not many left, so I don't know. I mean, it said they were new, but as you can see, they're not new. They've got quite a bit of rust on them, and they're not in the best condition. So if you collect trying locos, I'd buy some of these if I were you, because you know they're not too bad. I think £7 here for, is that 3 in each bag? It looks like it, yeah. So for 6, so just over £1 each, and you know your locomotives get dysfunctional without them. So I've bought a few in spares. I've already got brushes in spares as well. But brushes are still quite abundant, but those springs are not. So that's just a little tip for you if if you've never had any problems like I hadn't until the other week. You'll never guess which engine it was. Oh yes, you will, because I've told you, I think. But yes, the Flying Scotsman bust one. So I borrowed it off problem causer here, the Transcontinental. So our next job is to replace the spring on this. Obviously, you need to have insulators, but I don't see the point in buying the insulators because you can just make them out of insulating tape. But again, you can buy those if you'd like to. Right, well, that does it for today. Look at all this. I'm just having a milkshake, don't worry, I'm not that dirty. It's not been here for weeks. Yeah, these are all the coaches and such. I'll probably get some more out. Here's one of the Airfix locos I got just after Christmas. It won't fit on the main shelf, so there it is. Tender driven, but it's very nice. I'll probably do a video on that at some point. And I'd also like to do a video on the first trying loco I ever bought, which you've seen before again, but not in detail. But that's all for another day. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I'll just give you a couple more close-ups of her, so you can see the detail. Because it's not bad detail, to be honest with you. Just give you a quick close-up. It's not in the best light just here actually, but you can probably see enough. Nice texture. The texture is quite realistic, and it's not been repainted. I suppose that's just the way it's aged. Put it down to the level. There we go. Right. I'll drive her off then, and that will end it.